All right, yeah, we're live. No intro.
All right, we're live. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. As we had a crazy week 17 of the NFL, we'll get into those things. Big Ben's probably his last game at Three Rivers or Heinz Field, whatever they're
Heinz
calling
Field.
it these
Three
days.
Rivers.
Heinz Field. Wait, is Three Rivers in Cincinnati?
No, Three
that
Rivers.
Was
that's the old
used
Pittsburgh
to
one.
be.
That's the old
That
stadium,
is the old Pittsburgh one. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, but no, it's Heinz Field, like the catch-up, Coach.
Catch-up. Got it. I'm with you. So,
But, yeah, another wild day yesterday, though, in football. I mean, obviously, you got to start off with the AB situation and how wild that is. I don't even know how to, talk about that one. I mean, there's so many rumors today. I mean, there was he had incentives, to basically catches, touchdowns, and yards, and he was going to get over 300, basically a total of $1 million between the three.
Right.
And they didn't want him to get those, so they benched him. And then it was that he got told to go in the game, and he had an ankle injury. And then Bruce Arians basically said he told him to go in. He said no. And honestly, that's the one I believe. I mean, I think if they tried pulling some stuff where he couldn't get incentives, I think Brady would be upset. You know what I mean? You don't want to piss Brady off because Brady brings him in, and you're trying to bait him. And you can see with Brady, he basically said the guy needs help and has compassion for him. But what a wild scene. And the last couple of weeks, I mean, look, you got Tom Brady, so you always have a chance. But I kind of think we're seeing the unraveling of the Bucs season kind of. And it started with injuries, and now the AB situation's kind of just made it a circus kind of.
Yeah, and part of that where they told him to go in, I heard a story where he said he was hurt and they said go in anyway or something, and I don't buy in this day and age. 1970 maybe, but in this day and age,
no way.
I don't think you say you're hurt, but with that, it's just crazy, man. I mean, really just crazy. I heard he's still waiting for his Uber outside the stadium.
No, his Uber driver was on did a live, and he shot out his Netflix show, and I mean it's just, and he looked happy. That's what I mean, honestly. And I'm not trying to be, but obviously he has some kind of mental health condition. I don't know if it's bipolar disease or it's obviously he has some issues. But the thing is, I was wrong. Yeah, I'll tell you, Sammy, Philly didn't play good, and they still beat Washington. So, yeah, and clinched a playoff spot. But, yeah, it's still with the AB situation. He blew up his NFL career yesterday, Coach. I mean, he's done. I would be stunned if he ever got a job. He blew it up yesterday, which that's what's
talent always finds a way.
I don't think this time. Come on, Coach. Raiders, Patriots. Now I think the Bucs were his last shot. Now, if he would have finished the season out, he might have went somewhere. But Coach, he just walked off the field in the middle of the game. They had a third down. He was in the end zone.
Of the game.
Listen to the overthing. You could hear it's third down. I mean, so it was like in the middle of the game. It was it was quite embarrassing for everybody. I mean, and not a good look.
So, so they were saying on New York radio that they thought it was a fan at first. There was a fan, like across the walkie-talkie, they saying fan on the field. They thought it was a fan.
Hey, look, the important thing, Paul, is you got a shot. It's going to be a tough game. And I don't think it's good with the news that came out about the cornerback today with Nate Hobbs, because the Raiders are in a pickle with that, because you have a guy who just got a DUI when one of your other players, is basically getting charged for DUI manslaughter. They're going to be in a pickle with that. I mean, that's going to be a tough decision to make. And Sammy, you're right. AB's, that'll never happen now. I agree. Yeah, I mean, Anthony, you don't know if he was really injured, but I mean, I think you look at the track record. If it was another player who hasn't had outbursts and crazy, I mean, you don't know what to believe with AB. I mean, this is a guy who, what was it? He wanted to wear a certain helmet with the Raiders.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about wild stuff. And right now,
And then did he burn his feet in the the kryptonite room or whatever he did to her?
yeah, right. That was the other thing, right? He was doing whatever they do. That you're right, where you freeze your. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, how do you believe Antonio Brown? And you know too, right now, his team or whatever is they're trying to spin too. That's why I think you're seeing the injury thing and you're seeing the incentive thing because they're trying to spin and hopefully, get him a job somewhere else. But
cryo chamber, thanks, Sammy.
There you go, cryo chamber. Thanks, Sammy. But yeah, look, it's not good for the Bucs though, because now you got no AB, you got no Godwin, you got an injured Mike Evans playing receiver, and then you got Gronk, who I think teams are going to target to take out because Brady loves Gronk.
But again, you said it. You have Tom Brady is still the quarterback, and he has made a career of making pedestrians into players.
Yeah, but Coach, you got to do it in a quick turnaround time too, and you got a defense that has players too, Coach. Right. The Bucs defense. I mean, let's be honest. The Jets moved the ball up and down on the field on yesterday, so it's going to be tough. And I think what you're going to see teams do is either double Gronk or they're going to take their best defender. Like if they played the Rams, you take Ramsey, put him on Gronk, and then double Evans. I mean, you're taking your best defender, putting him on Gronk, and then you double Evans. What does he have? Yeah, don't get me wrong. They'll still make plays. It's Brady. But it's making the job harder. And you saw it. I mean, they struggled to beat the Jets yesterday, Coach. And the best was the commentator goes, I don't see how the Bucs can do it with only 50 seconds left and no timeouts. Brady goes down to 20 seconds and scores a touchdown. Come on, man. Touchdown, Tom Brady. Got to know that.
Right? Unbelievable.
Look, can we start with the Eagles? We did AB. Can we go to the Eagles now?
Sure. Go ahead. Let's jump into that,
I mean, look, and I got to give you credit. You said pretty much all year you got to give Jalen Hurts more time. And, you do now. I mean, obviously, he's made the playoffs. I still think he has some improvement. But look how much he's improved in the last year. He's definitely a better quarterback than he was at this time last year. You're talking about a 2-5 team and their schedule was
absolutely
easy, but still, they did what they needed to do. They're playing well. He helps the running game. He's throwing the ball a little better. You got to give him another year. And look, Sirianni, I mean, there was people who were calling for his job early in the year and saying one and done, be gone. And look, he recognized what the identity of the Eagles was to run the ball and play to that offensive line. The defense has been better. And look, it hasn't been pretty the last 2 weeks, but they've done their job. They've done what they're supposed to. I mean, obviously, they've played 3 games here in a short span because of the postponed game, obviously. And they got the job done. They're in the playoffs, and that's what basically matters. And, it's good for the Eagles. And Uncle Bill, 100%. He's really gotten better with that, not making the big mistake either, like Wentz does. Wentz did yesterday. Now, Coach, I'll let you talk about the shit show that is the Giants.
The clown show, because, Joe Judge said we're not a clown show, but yet you are. You are a clown show. I mean, and here's what gets me. You came out at the end of the game press conference, and when you were asked what the game plan was, you said, run the football, play special teams, and get my defense off the field. Run the football is what you said. But yet, the first play of the game, what happened? You drop back to pass, fumble, play later, and you're down 7-0.
Now, Saquon did have 100 yards yesterday, but the sad thing is, and this is a fact, me and Coach threw for more yards than the Giants did yesterday.
That's right.
They threw for -10. Me and Coach, by sitting on our ass at the couch and eating potato chips, threw for more yards than the Giants. And that is the first time that has happened in this century. Last time it happened was 1998.
And I also, when is the last time
That's my cousin. Yeah, you're right. Good point. Hey, man, we're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. And look, the Eagles, when you talk about the Eagles' chances too, Coach, and then I'll get back to your Giants. Sorry. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to the NFC Championship game. But they can win a game because they can run the football and play defense. And if they dominate the clock and turn the team over, they got a shot. It's going to be all about matchups. I'll tell you this: if they play the Bucs, I think they got a real shot. I think a team like the Rams, who have a good passing game, the Eagles would struggle with. But I think a team like the Bucs, even though I know people are going to say, "Well, look, the Bucs, rushing defense," but the Eagles are a very unique team to play rushing defense against, and they played them well earlier in the year. Right. And look, the Bucs can be passed on. You saw Zach Wilson had a lot of success yesterday, so I think that's a team the Eagles could actually beat in the first round.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, especially with Tom Brady without all his weapons and stuff. So, I think I would favor that matchup as well. But the Giants, the first what were your first 4 minutes of the game? The Giants are down 14-0. I mean, they started to run the ball well, and then of course they had to throw the ball again. And I mean,
well, I texted you, Coach, and it was they got the ball, and within 2 minutes they were down 7-0.
I know. I didn't even respond, and it was already 7-0. I mean,
the game was over basically then. I mean, what they scored 3 points yesterday.
The Giants scored 3 whole points yesterday.
Yeah, so it was over then. When that touchdown was scored, the game was essentially over. So I gotta wonder. I know they said it, but I really think Joe Judge is done. The last 2 weeks, especially when you getting clobbered. I mean, the Bears aren't a good football team, and they owned the Giants. And look, you see that second half against the Eagles where you go up, whether it was it tied? Is that what it was against the Eagles? And then they basically score 31 unanswered points in the second half. It's just not looking good for the Giants.
Right. The Giants have quit. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. They've quit on this coach and the staff. They have quit because the Giants have lost 5 straight games. 5 straight games. By double digits. I mean, come on. That's when does that happen? I mean, unbelievable. What's up, Phil? Anthony?
I think Tampa's best case scenario is the NFC Championship game. I think that's the best case. Honestly, I could see him getting upset in the first round, but I definitely think they go out in the second round. I just think, look, and I'm not a Tom Brady hater. I don't like going against Brady. But I just think he's got too much against him. And the defense isn't playing like it was last year. And you're talking about Godwin's down. AB's gone. Just too many injuries. Is Fournette going to play? Is he going to be healthy? Right. That's another question. Are they going to get the guys back? There's too many questions. And Evans, his number one receiver, isn't healthy. So there's just a lot going against it. I don't see Brady putting that all on his back.
Anthony, the cap space is horrible for the Giants.
No, it's good next year. They have cap space.
They're in cap hell. Go there.
Oh, wait, you might be right. I think I looked that up. You're right. They don't have cap space. I think you're right. Yeah.
They don't. Everything. The Giants are in kind of a cap hell for the next few years. Yeah, we're not. No free agents anytime soon.
So, how do you, with no talent, too? You have no cap space. That's what's crazy.
Right.
That's
absolutely. Absolutely.
Wild. Now, NFC-wise, Packers clinched the number 1 seed, and it's going through Green Bay. And I think we've said the Packers are the team to beat in the NFC. The AFC, good luck trying to figure that out. But in regards to the NFC, Coach, Cowboys yesterday, I thought that was a tough loss for them. Because now you go from being the 2 seed, and if you go to that second round, you still get a home game at least, to now you're a 4 seed where you're going to be playing the best wild card team in the first round, which could be a rematch against the Cardinals, or possibly it could be playing the Rams if the Rams lose and the Cardinals win this week.
Right.
So you go first game, you're playing the Rams or Cardinals, and then if it plays out properly, you're looking
you have to go to Green Bay.
It all depends. It all depends on how, if it goes. But there's a possibility they could go to Green Bay. And look at that, Coach. That's tough. You're going a really good first game on the road at Green Bay, and then an NFC Championship on the road possibly too. It's a tall order for the Cowboys. And look, Mike McCarthy flat out got out coached yesterday.
Yep.
Look at one point, Cliff Kingsbury, they run a fake punt.
He couldn't challenge.
Yeah, they weren't ready. And then at one point, what he did too, they put Matt Prater in at receiver, the kicker. It was 4th and 5, and they were in the red zone. And he thought they were going for it, not noticing the kicker was playing receiver. They were never going for it.
Right.
Mike McCarthy gets confused and burns a timeout that they could have used because there was a fumble. Now, one thing I don't understand, though, Coach, why doesn't the NFL on a play like that with that significance do like college and buzz down? Because they've done it this year to save challenges if it's obvious. And that play wasn't obvious, but still it's such a big play in the game, Coach. I mean, the Cowboys would have got the ball back down 3 with a chance to tie or win with over 2 minutes left. But once again, what did I say yesterday, Coach? I mean, I was on point yesterday. I said the Chiefs defense I still didn't trust. And I said, why did I say the Cowboys would lose? Coaching. And that's what cost them yesterday. You going to say anything, Coach? Or you going to sit there and look at the this guy?
I was sorry. I'm reading Nick's thing, man. Now required.
Yeah, it is going to be chaos down there.
Chaos.
It is. Yeah. It's going to be wild.
Unbelievable, man. But yeah, Friday. So Saturday, the Eagles play on Saturday.
Right.
And man, and you got the Flyers going on at the same time.
Yeah. Well, what about the Cowboys? Like I just said, and you're sitting there not paying attention.
Oh, well, I was reading Nick's comment. That's why I was paying attention. But the Cowboys suck, so who cares? You know, I mean,
they don't suck.
I can't multitask.
But 2 coaching decisions, well, basically 1 when it comes to the timeout, 1 bad coaching decision, and it shows you about the little things in football that the Bill Belichick's have handled that matter. And one decision cost them the game. And look, I know there's a bunch of other plays, and it doesn't, but still, that is the difference in the game right now.
And you bring up Bill Belichick because I go back to that Super Bowl with against Seattle,
right?
Where everybody said, "How come you didn't call a timeout? How come you didn't call a timeout?" Well, why? I had the lead. Exactly what he said. I had the lead. It was on them to call the timeout. I'm not giving them the advantage. But there you go. It's you know, being outcoached, man.
And he said it too. He said he felt like they were rushing a little bit, and he liked that. That's why he didn't want to time it. And look what happened. I mean, Belichick said he has everything down, and that's what I actually watched some stuff. I rewatched the thing on him and Saban, the 2 Bills, 30 for 30.
Right.
And it's so great. He was going over scenarios about kickoff, and he was like, "Okay, we're up this amount of, 3 points. They have no timeouts left. There's a minute 30 left. We know they're going to go onside. They're going to onside kick, obviously. Then he said, okay, there's 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. We're up a field goal. They have all 3 timeouts. He goes, they could go onside, but they don't. So we're going to put the hands team on. But guess what? They could kick it deep. So the hands team needs to know how to block. I mean, he has every base covered, Coach. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to throw your hands team out there and they don't know how to block. It just shows you the little details he goes into. And it's so Coach, your internet is terrible tonight. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, he is a moron. Look, now Coach is dropping off.
No, I'm back.
In. All right, your internet's terrible. Yeah, John,
it is. There's a storm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a snowstorm. It's bad every week.
Yes.
And Anthony said the Chiefs with their bad defense. Look, everybody was loving that Chiefs defense, and I said when they play a good offense, they're going to struggle. I mean, Jamar Chase played well, but you couldn't stop Jamar Chase on 3rd and 27 to end the game. I mean, that's on the Chiefs, and they're going to struggle in the playoffs when you're playing good offenses. You know, look, they lost to the Bills. They should have lost to the Chargers. They struggle with good offenses, and it's going to be a problem for the Chiefs. And now, look, too, they lose yesterday. Obviously, Burrow, the huge game in the AFC. Titans are now the 1 seed.
Yep.
And I said yesterday, nobody's talking about the Titans. But I think the big thing is going to be is Derrick Henry healthy?
Right.
Because if he is, I think they got a shot. If he isn't,
but now if they keep the number 1 seed, now you have that extra week for Derrick Henry. How huge is that?
That's huge. That's what I'm saying. If he's healthy, I think they got a shot.
Yeah.
If he's not, he doesn't come back in full health, I still don't think the Titans can win it. But look, you talk about a team we all thought was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in the AFC. I mean, look, Cincinnati showed you they can beat anybody. They beat the hottest team in the NFL yesterday. Burrow looked awesome. Colts lose. I mean, although I think the Colts look, that was a good spot for the Raiders. And look, the Raiders played well. The Raiders played well on defense. They stopped the run. They played a really good game. But I think the Colts, you know how it is, Coach. You come off those two huge wins they had against the Cardinals, against the Patriots. You come home. You know, they had a little bit of the COVID issues, even though they got to play.
Right.
And I just think they came out flat. And, in the NFL, you get down 10. They ended up taking the lead. But I'll say it, man, and I'm a Carson guy. But once again, he had a play to be made in the fourth quarter. He had T.Y. Hilton wide open, and he missed him. He had a field goal situation. He took an 8-yard sack. They went from the 33 to the 41. That's the stuff Carson does that just drives you crazy. I know, Jay. I mean,
you're absolutely right.
I don't get it. Like, he just doesn't learn. Wentz just doesn't learn. And he's got a team around him now. He could use a couple better playmakers on the outside, but he's got a great roster around him, and he doesn't learn to let that roster help him. He hurts his team. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. And you're right, Uncle Bill.
Yep. Look, and Burrow, it just shows you when you get a true stud quarterback, and this is why I question Lawrence. Like, even though Burrow got hurt last year, Coach, when you saw him early, you could see he had
he had flashes. Yes.
Have you seen that from Lawrence this year? I haven't. I know there's not a lot of talent in Jacksonville, but I haven't seen the flash from him. And I don't know if he's that number one stud that everybody thinks he is.
I agree. I agree with that. I don't know. You'll see whoever the new coach is has their work cut out for it.
Right. And look, if he gets the right coach and they get the right pieces around him, look, I think Trevor Lawrence can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be the right, the thing. And that's why we always talk about, Coach. Me and you have always said about quarterbacks, the biggest thing is situation. Look at Mac Jones. He's going to be taught right. He's going to be coached well. Trey Lance yesterday looked pretty good. Rough first half. But, when you can be put in a situation to be successful, it's really big. And look, I thought Jimmy G was getting to the point where he might come back, but now what happened? He get hurt. And that's the problem with Jimmy G is the inconsistency and the injuries. So now I think he's lost his job. I think he'll play if he can play this week just because he's the better quarterback right now for the team. But Jimmy G's going to get traded in the offseason, and your Giants might be the one of the teams that go for him.
And I'm okay with that because, I heard a rumor. Maybe I'm starting it myself. I started this rumor in my head maybe. But sending Daniel Jones to Denver. Reunite him with Pat Shurmur. He had a great rookie year with Pat Shurmur. Reunite the guy with him. They need a quarterback out there. Drew Lock's obviously not the guy.
Right.
And move on with your day.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be wild because there's so much, what happens with obviously Deshaun Watson's situation. Does Rodgers? I think Rodgers, I thought he was gone, and I'm starting to lean that I think they've kind of mended the fences in Green Bay now, and he might wonder if the grass is greener on the other side. I think Rodgers might be coming back.
I don't think so. I think he leaves with the trophy in his hand and go try and win it without me now. That's what I think.
Jay, I didn't hear about that. Is that right? Is there a bunch of Eagles on the COVID list? I didn't know about that.
No, I didn't hear that.
No. Well, I don't think the Eagles are going to play anyway because their draft position. I mean, not their draft position, their playoff position. I don't think they can affect it. I think basically if the Niners win, they're going to be ahead of the Eagles because they beat them head to head. If the Niners lose and the Saints win, the Eagles will be ahead of them because they beat the Saints head to head. So, if I'm the Eagles, I'm probably taking it easy, getting that week off, letting those guys get a little bit refreshed to get, ramped up for that playoff game. And with the Cowboys, I think they're kind of stuck too. I think they can move up a spot or two, but I think that's why it's a Saturday game is because it's kind of meaningless for the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Right.
Okay, they'll be back by Friday though. And look, Jay, I don't.
Yeah, with the new COVID thing, it's only 5 days now. So
yeah, and I don't think it matters because the Eagles already clinched. So I don't think they were going to play a lot of guys Saturday anyway.
Right. So it'll I don't think so. I think you'll see a lot of teams now that they've clinched. I mean, there's a couple of games that are still important. Obviously, more in the AFC. The NFC is pretty much.
Yeah, AFC is a lot of jockeying. I mean, like the Titans play the Texans, you would think they should win, but they walked to the Texans earlier in the year.
Right.
Davis Mills playing a little bit more. So Titans are playing for the 1 seed. Chiefs, you still want to grab that 2 seed because it's a home game in the second round. So Bengals are the 3 seed. Bills are playing to keep the AFC East title. Obviously they need to play. Patriots are going to play because if the Bills somehow lose to the Jets, they could win the the AFC East.
Right.
So a lot of things going on there.
And the Raiders got to win to get in.
Yeah, no, you got 2 playing games essentially. Colts is a playing game if they win. But one thing a lot of people don't know, and look, yes, they should beat the Jags, but they haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014. So crazier things have happened. Yeah, the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014. So you would hope they beat this team, but now they put themselves in a situation by not winning on Sunday that the Colts need to win, and if they win, they're in. And in fact, I think it might be better. I know it sounds crazy, but you kind of got that loss off your shoulders if you can go handle your business against the Jags, coach. Now, look, yes, you could have used it as a break week, but I would rather play the Bengals than the Bills. Just because I think the Bengals, man, it's like we just won the AFC North. I think there's a lot of happy. Look,
yes.
They want to get that.
Like we've arrived, kind of like Michigan. They kind of were there.
Exactly.
They were just happy to be there, and I think that you're absolutely right.
And my cousin it runs in the family. The brilliance of the mind of sports and my family. I thought about that today, and it's the truth. Josh Sweat, and that's why the Eagles and the you got to give Howie his props. We got 3 first-round picks coming in. He signed him up, and Sweat is very underrated. He's somebody who's going to help us with our pass rush, but I still think we could use another guy. To my unnamed cousin, we still could use another guy. I think we need another pass rusher because I don't think Graham's back. I don't think Barnett's back. So, but yeah, and he was huge yesterday, Sweat. And look, I mean, Cox, I think we have to pay him because there's not much of a cut there. But Brandon Brooks will be gone. We'll see what happens with Fletcher Cox. But Hargrave's the better D tackle. Colts lost me. It's terrible, Jay.
Jay, sorry, man.
You should have watched Jay. I said bet the Raiders yesterday. I had Raiders but I didn't think the Raiders would win. I really didn't. I thought Anthony, no. I think that would be a mistake. I mean, let's be honest here. The Raiders have, and I'm not trying to, but they had the COVID issues with the Browns. Teddy Bridgewater was out for the Broncos. Now they played great against the Colts, but I still think Versace would be a mistake. I think you want to get a new head coach in there. Derek Carr, I'm fine with bringing him back unless you can find a better replacement. If you don't find a better replacement, you got to keep Carr. And don't draft anybody because there's nobody that's a rookie that's going to be better than Derek Carr, in my opinion.
I agree with that 100%. I don't think, but the problem is, you see this all the time where the interim guy who gets his opportunity, wins some games, gets him to the play and gets the job. Right. When, you've kind of wasted a year.
Yeah.
Is what I feel like,
Yeah, and like I said, they've had some things fall their way. It's not like they're playing great football. They kind of eked in the wins against the Broncos and the Browns. But no, you got to give them credit. The Raiders came out Sunday and played well against the Colts. But here's the thing. There's still a game to win. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of, you still got to go beat the Chargers. Right. And then you're in the playoffs.
And the Chargers aren't going to lay down for you. I mean,
and the Chargers beat them earlier in the year. And look, one of the Raiders' weaknesses is running the ball. And they're going to need to run the ball against the Chargers. That's how you beat the Chargers. That's how you beat them, is run the football. That's how the Texans did it. You run the football against them. You keep Herbert on the sidelines. So we'll see. And Derek Carr can't have his mistakes that he's had the last few weeks. Yeah, it should have cost him last week, but, he had Carson Wentz on the other side, and fucking Wentz doubled down and fucked up himself. So it's helped the Raiders. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Uncle Bill. And to me, that's crazy that after what happened with Ruggs, you can have another another player have a DUI. And I think it puts the Raiders in a predicament because everybody's looking on you. What are you going to do about him playing?
Right.
It's like you had somebody, had DUI manslaughter, and are you going to let him play this weekend? It's good. It's going to be a tough decision. And Brian, I agree. I like him over yardage tonight. I like him over obviously 1.5 touchdowns. I had the Steelers plus 3.5. The lines moved to 2.5 because the Browns aren't in the playoffs anymore. So like a Myles Garrett who's kind of hurt, they may sit. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm not obviously, Coach.
Yeah, but Myles Garrett's close to a sack record, isn't he? I don't know that he's going to sit. He's close to the sack record, isn't he? I think he is.
What record? The overall record? I don't think so.
No, the season. The season.
No.
I thought he has like 17 sacks.
Yeah, but it's like 22. I mean, Jack.
2 games left.
Yeah, unless you do Brett Favre, Michael Strahan.
I mean.
Yeah, they're saying Mayfield and Garrett might sit. Let me see how he has 15 sacks, Coach. That ain't happening.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, he ain't getting 6 sacks. Well, I mean, it's happened in one game.
It's happened. It did happen against the Eagles, man.
Yeah, and look,
John Runyon gave up 6 sacks one game.
That wasn't John Runyon.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was a rookie. It was a
no,
rookie.
Was it?
I'm an Eagles fan. It was a rookie, dude, who stunk. King Dunlap. That's how much I know the Eagles. King Dunlap, look it up. He was the dope who let up 6 sacks on the Giants. It ain't happening tonight. Although the Steelers' defense offensive line does suck. But look, tonight's game, I like the Steelers. I do. I think the Steelers find a way to get a win. It's going to be emotional. You know what I mean? Big Ben's last game. I'm sure the players are going to try to play hard for him. Maybe
like they did in Seattle
maybe
yesterday.
Sign AB and bring him in for a reunion tonight with Ben.
And just like they did in Seattle for, because it could have been the last home game for, Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be there's another situation, Coach, that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there, and they say, too, that the Vikings may move on from Cousins. They may just blow it up completely.
Well, I think they should. They should. I don't know why. I don't know why. He can't win the big game anyway. He can't win against good teams. He's terrible.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I can't. There's certain guys that are just like that, and I honestly, Wentz has fallen into that now too. I mean, he runs his stats up against bad teams. And then when he plays these good teams, he has mistakes and mental errors.
Right.
And look, his teams are in it, and he's hurting them. Like, don't hurt your team.
Right.
Trent Dilford if you have to. Like, don't hurt your team.
You have such a great running game. Rely on it, man. Come on now.
Right. And you need him to make a couple plays a game. It's not like it's, where it's like Josh Allen. It's like, yo, dude, just do everything. They need him to make a couple plays a game. Honestly, that's all they need. And he struggles with that. And I was all excited because he made one damn play in the Cardinals game. This guy, I like Wentz. I want to see him succeed because, honestly, the Eagles don't win a Super Bowl.
Listen, you don't care anymore. He's got you your first round pick. You don't care about him. You've kicked him to the curb. It's okay to kick him to the curb now. You only wanted to root for him to get that first round pick. I know how you operate. Come on, man.
No, I like Wentz. You know me. I held on with Wentz to the last moment with the Eagles, man. I like Wentz. I see what other people see. That's all I'm saying. I get it. I was completely wrong about Wentz. I thought he was a top 5 quarterback, stud, But yeah. Yep. Jay, of course you want to see him tank. He wants a higher pick. I get it. But let me be honest, though, too. I do have the Colts at 50-1 to win a Super Bowl. So that's kind of my reasoning for rooting for them a little bit, too. That's the truth. I got them 50-1 when they were 1-4. I said, why not? And here they are. So I wouldn't mind that money, Coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely you wouldn't, man. Why not?
Yeah. So, I'm telling you what I'm real curious is to see how this last weekend's, and then we can do our show the following weekend, the first weekend of the playoffs, and see who we got for the Super Bowl. Because it's wild this year, Coach. I mean, like I said, the NFC, I think we're all probably going to go Packers. I get that. But, man, the AFC is, honestly, and I'm not kidding, I could see the Titans.
Yep.
I could see the Bengals. I could see the Bills. I could see the Chiefs. I could see the Colts.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not trying. I don't think the Raiders or Chargers could. I just think they have too many deficiencies. And what team am I forgetting? Am I forgetting a team? Oh, the Patriots. I just don't think the Patriots. Look, and I know it's down Bill Belichick, but going on the road 3 times with a rookie QB is going to be tough.
I agree, but I still think they get one win. I still think they win one and move on. And whether that is the having to play the Bills the 3rd time or the Saints,
yeah.
Right
now it's looking like it's Bills or Bengals. That's who it's going to be.
Right.
Unless obviously the Bills lose to the Jets and they somehow win the AFC East.
Right. Yeah, and if they definitely get one home game out of the deal, I think they definitely win.
Well, here's the interesting thing, though, Coach. If it's in Buffalo and you get a scenario that happened like last time where you get weather, now it favors the Patriots because they got the better run game. So that's one thing that could be interesting. And look, the Bills look at yesterday. They had weather yesterday, Coach, in the Falcons game. And Josh Allen only threw for 100 and some yards and had 3 turnovers.
Yep. And that's why I'm saying Saquon Barkley. And by the way, there's an article saying Barkley to the Bills. Who's been saying that for weeks now? 4 weeks. Who's been saying that?
Maybe.
So
I mean, you never know.
But hey, Jared, just leave a message, buddy, because we can't take the call on the air for some reason.
Yeah, we had snow where Coach is at.
Yeah, it's snowing here. We can't take the call on the air. I'm sorry, buddy.
Coach is having technical difficulties. You got 6 inches of snow down at the shore.
Yeah, well, we got one plow in the whole friggin' state, I think, man. It's I mean,
they're not used to the snow down where he's at.
Right. We're not used to that. So
down in Delaware.
Yeah. That's why I'm getting ready to get south Florida. It'll be fine. You don't have to shovel sweat down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
yeah, don't snow in Florida. We know that.
That's right.
But people up here go. They go south to a lot of Philly people go south to Florida.
Yep.
Even though you're not a Philly guy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yep, I know. A lot of New York guys
too. A lot of New York people do too, right? Aren't there a lot of New Yorkers?
Yep, a lot of New Yorkers down there. Yep. Yeah, Happy New Year, Jared. Happy New Year to you guys. Yep.
Happy New Year, Jared. And look, man, good luck tonight. Big game for you guys. And look, the Steelers aren't out yet, too. If the Steelers win both and the Colts lose next week, Steelers are in. So Steelers do have – I mean, that's not – look, crazier things have happened. So Steelers still do have a shot. Yeah, Anthony, I think that's a good question. Coach mentioned it earlier. I think
it is.
I think it's possible. I think him or Carroll are definitely gone. I think Wilson's going to have demands like he did last year. I really do. I think he might want a coaching change. He might want a new offensive coordinator. I don't know. But
I look, can we just take New York out of the equation? And I know it's because his wife wants to go there.
Right.
But his biggest complaint was offensive line. He had no offensive line in what do you think the Giants' biggest deficiency is?
Honestly, I think the team I think it's Vegas. I think if he goes somewhere, I think it's Vegas. New Orleans, I don't think could figure it out cap-wise because they're still under the cap, and they have guys like Marcus Williams, who's a free agent, and their tackle, I think it's Armstead. He's a free agent. So it's going to be tough. I think it.
Yeah, Derek Carr's playing. I mean, you're really going to move on from Derek Carr?
Playing that good. He had 2 interceptions yesterday. Now, look, did he make the plays when he needed to? Yes. And look, on 3rd and 10, he had pressure. He threw a dime to Renfro. And there is points where Carr, he can just throw dimes and he looks good, but then he has that inconsistency too. We'll see. And I think a big thing's going to be if Carr gets him into the playoffs, I think he's back. I don't think the coach is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Washington messed up. Obviously, Washington has a decent team, but they shouldn't have counted on Fitzpatrick. And you saw that with Heineke. That's another team. Washington's another team that needs a QB. And so does Pittsburgh. So it's going to be a lot of – and maybe that's where Wilson goes. How about Pittsburgh? I think that makes sense. They got some weapons on the outside. They do need to improve that offensive line, but there's some.
I don't think so. I think I could see DC. His wife wants to be on the East Coast, And, and I think now that Tua is playing well, Miami's out of the mix.
Did you
Carolina.
watch the game yesterday?
What? Yes, but in overall, he has made a step forward. He's not a complete, bust like Daniel Jones. He's showing some signs, some flashes.
Yeah,
so I think you stay with him another year or two. You're not going to just go out and get but then again, it is,
Here's the thing now. Just like I said with the Chiefs, and I said the Chiefs defense, I didn't believe it, that it was against bad teams. You want to hear who the Dolphins had their run against where they won all these games?
Yes, I know. They're all losing teams.
Texans, Ravens, Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets, Saints.
Yep.
Not many good teams there, Coach.
I know.
And look, they got the job done. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sold on Tua. He freaking fumbled yesterday, and then he just went back and I don't know about Tua.
Okay. All right. But we'll see. Let me ask you, I know you said yesterday, but let's recap. What do you like tonight?
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has skin in the game still, and it's Ben's last home game. Browns don't have any skin in the game. It's Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And not to forget, they were my lock of the week. Yours lost again. So, Pittsburgh, baby.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe.
And I think they still will, Anthony. I think they still will.
I think they still will. I think they're waiting on the Watson thing to get figured out. I still think they're waiting for that to figure out. And I think they're holding out because
they want to come down on their price too. Nobody's trading 3 first-round picks for Watson.
Right. I agree with that. I agree. And but and plus you got to have the cap space to take his money on, which the Giants don't. They have the picks, they don't have the cap space. So
Miami's got the cap space. They got one of the teams. You know what's crazy? Indy's got $52 million next year to spend with that team. And to me, you go get a receiver for Wentz, and I don't know what else. They don't need much else. They really don't. They need a weapon on the outside, maybe another defender.
Yeah, maybe edge guy.
Outside pass rusher. Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah, something to complement
you got Buckner in the middle.
Yeah,
on defense. On defense.
Yeah, but they also got what's the kid on the outside?
Leonard.
They got the Leonard, just someone to complement him on the other side. I mean,
Yeah, but he's not. He's a linebacker. I mean, he plays middle linebacker. They need an edge rusher. I mean, they drafted Kwity Paye, and he's done all right. But they could definitely use a good edge rusher.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right, gang. I appreciate you guys jumping on and hanging on. The hockey comment.
Let's see this. Yeah.
Team Canada highlights from last week.
You heard? Look at that. Okay, he's the next Connor McDavid. Wow. David's a stud too.
Yeah. Wow. That's good, man. All right, we know. Yeah. How about them Rangers, Nick? Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be weird, and it's a shame too because now no hockey, no Olympics for the hockey because they paused here with COVID, and it was probably the right decision to be honest with you. Yeah, and I get it. Look, these guys are all Flyers. I mean, it's just disappointing so far. They get their defense sucks, and they're gonna kill Carter Hart's confidence. They've been playing a little bit better though, but we'll see.
Really, thanks, Anthony, for the stat. I'll throw that up there.
Yeah, Miami's first. They are.
Yeah. And Washington, fourth. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, let's see what they do with it.
Yep. Let's see what they do.
Washington's problem has always been the ownership. Daniel Snyder, he sucks.
Yep. Absolutely.
And now it's his wife who runs the team, so I don't know how much better it is. Because he could not sexually harass women, and
right.
One of the worst owners in sports history.
You're probably right. I would give you that. And the Giants are still the ownership. The Mara family is creeping up onto that list. Just so you know, I'm just letting you know. You guys suck. Super
Bowls, though, Coach. Dan Snyder's never done anything. I mean, he's like George Steinbrenner, but doesn't win. He'll spend the money,
right?
But you don't have a success. And even a guy like Jerry Jones, they haven't had success recently. But the guy's got 3 Super Bowls. He did something right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, Slider's been a disaster. They always overpaid for guys that were 3 years,
Past their prime.
Yeah. So, all
right, guys. Thank you. We appreciate all the love you give us. Make sure you share it with your friends. Like the page. Ring the bell down below. Subscribe, you YouTube guys. We really appreciate it. Trying to get hockey switched to Summer Olympics.
Well, I think he saw the truth. I think that's
really.
So I guess so. It doesn't mix with the season. That makes sense.
That does make sense. That would be all right. Make more interesting.
How do you keep the ice from? I guess it would be indoors.
It would be indoors. There you go.
I'm a moron. I had a Coach Muddle moment there.
Yeah, there you go, man. All right, everyone. Listen, have a safe week. No Thursday football. We might jump on Saturday. We'll let you know. But other than that, enjoy your week. Be safe and peace out, man. Thanks.
Peace out. The old Antonio Brown. Look at him. Give him two fingers, Coach. Give him